The woke fungus is working as designed, and it strikes again. Now, of course, the mainstream media, they're not going to blame the woke fungus on the downfall of Nike. No, it ain't the fungus. It's not diversity, equity, and inclusion. It's simply market conditions, increased competition, a flawed marketing strategy. They'll come up with anything to blame it on besides the truth. Have you guys ever heard about the analogy about the farmer and the viper? Long story short, there's a farmer climbing up a mountain for reasons unknown. He's probably moving his family to the wilderness to escape the living hell known as the People's Republic of California or the new socialist state of York. As he's making his way up the mountain, the farmer comes across a snake. The snake politely asks the farmer to carry him up the mountain, help him out. Now, naturally, the farmer is skeptical. He instinctively knows that the snake is going to bite him. The viper, it begs, it pleads with him. So the farmer, he agrees to help the snake out. 2 or 3 seconds later, the snake bites him. The viper, he's all apologetic. He tells the farmer that he didn't really mean to bite him, and now that it's out of his system, he will behave the rest of the way up the mountain. Like a dumbass, the farmer agrees to help the snake again, and he gets bit again. After the second bite, the farmer asks the snake, "Why in the hell did you bite me again? I'm trying to help you out." The snake replies, "Because it's in my nature." Earlier this afternoon, when I saw all these headlines describing the demise of Nike, the story about the farmer and the snake, it was the first thing that came to my mind. On the surface, the woke fungus, it appears to be friendly. Diversity, equity, and inclusion. It sounds great in theory, but once you put it into practice, companies quickly figure out that the woke fungus is designed for one purpose. The woke fungus has one primary objective. The fungus is designed to destroy. If you haven't already, make sure to like and subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter at KC_BTL84. Headline at Front Office Sports. Struggling Nike widely cut executives in last layoff. I don't know if I would necessarily describe it as widely cutting executives. 40% of the people laid off by Nike held executive positions, which means the other 60% belonged, I'm assuming, to the middle class. But I will give Nike some credit here. Most of the time when you see these corporate layoffs, a vast majority of the people getting laid off, they are at the bottom of the corporate ladder. I mean, these corporations, they will eliminate 50 jobs instead of eliminating one overpaid executive. But to their credit, Nike, they basically split the difference here. Nearly half the people laid off were in executive positions along with their administrative staffs, and the other 60%, they were, I guess, average workers, for lack of a better word. The real question is, how in the hell did we get here? How did this once iconic brand lose $28 billion in value last month in one day? That is not an exaggeration. After releasing their quarterly projections in late June, the following day, Nike lost $28 billion in value. Right now, the stock is trading at its lowest level since Aunt Fauci was spreading his special love across the country in 2020. But if you blame the COVID, you're blaming the wrong fungus. The COVID is not the reason that Nike went from the greatness of Michael Jordan to the huge embarrassing failure of Imani Jones. The reason Nike is a huge embarrassing failure, it's the same reason the White House is a huge embarrassing failure. The fungus of DEI, which should really be rearranged to DIE because that's what happens when corporations embrace it. But before I give you the long list of reasons that Nike is where they're at today, let's go ahead and get to the sponsor for today's video. Because when I saw these headlines this morning, I could not think of a better sponsor for this video than the newest card game on the market, Get Woke, Go Broke. Do you have that one friend in your friend group that's easily offended? We all have that one friend that's fun to mess with who is easily triggered at the slightest joke. If you're hanging out one night drinking with your easily offended friend, make sure to break out a copy of the newest card game, Get Woke, Go Broke. Get Woke, Go Broke. It is the ideal game for inappropriate adult parties. The game is designed to reveal the hidden side of your friends. Get Woke, Go Broke. It includes over 500 cards packed with satire and politically incorrect humor. Gameplay is very simple. The dealer draws a red card asking a very reasonable question, and you have a collection of blue cards in your hand, and the goal is to provide the wokest, most ridiculous answer to the question. For example, this card asks, who is the best representation for the future of America? I could say something like a degree in gender ideology, which I guess would be true, or women with hairy armpits. Get Woke, Go Broke. It is designed to ignite debates amongst friends and family. Or if you're like me and you hang out with like-minded people, the game is designed to keep you and your friends and family laughing at Deacons at Woke United Methodist. Get Woke, Go Broke, the card game. It is brand new, and it was designed with the assistance of veterans in the military. So click the link in the description below. Use my promo code BTL to receive $5 off your purchase of Get Woke, Go Broke, the card game. All right. Let's just look through the recent history of Nike to see if we can figure out how we got here. 2018, 2 years after Colin Kaepernick traded in his helmet for a set of knee pads. Colin was essentially blackballed by the NFL. He was unemployed, wandering aimlessly through his life of privilege, which he would describe as oppression. At the time, and this is probably still the case today, Colin Kaepernick, he was a pariah with most people. Many people viewed kneeling for the national anthem as disrespecting the country and, more importantly, disrespecting the men and the women who sacrificed their lives so Colin Kaepernick had the right to kneel for the national anthem. Like I said, a lot of people were upset about this. Not Nike, though. No! In a sign of solidarity, Nike decided to donate millions in woke welfare to Colin Kaepernick by making him the face of their 30th annual Just Do It campaign. Nike went from Michael Jordan, someone who gets it, someone who famously said Republicans buy sneakers too. Nike went from greatness to Colin Kaepernick. I wonder why Nike lost billions of dollars. 2021, Nike, they released horrifying statistics of their lack of diversity in their workforce. Now, you are not going to believe this. Back in 2020, 68% of Nike employees, they were white, and most of them were men. Now, obviously, Nike needed to rectify that problem immediately. In 2021, Nike, they made a commitment to Deacons at Woke United Methodist. They promised by 2025, which is next year, half of their employees would be women, with 45% of those women in leadership positions. They also wanted 35% of their workforce to be racially inclusive. Again, in theory, this sounds great. This sounds like the right thing to do. But in the real world, when you base hiring decisions on race and gender instead of qualifications and merit, you know what the end result is? A $28 billion loss in 24 hours. I wonder if some of those women promoted to leadership positions at Nike were included in all these layoffs. Nike is fully committed to combating the weather, or as they like to call it, climate change. They're also committed to fighting mythical racism. Several years ago, Nike had no problem paying Colin Kaepernick to claim that America was a country plagued by oppression. But you know, it's strange, because Nike was strangely silent on the oppression in China. I wonder why. I wonder if it had anything to do with the fact that Nike products are made in China and they make billions of dollars in the Chinese market. Remember last summer when Chad Thundercock was modeling tuck-friendly bathing suits for Target? Nike, they were inspired by the thunderous Chad and they decided to launch a gender-inclusive clothing line for kids. The children, it's all about the children. Nike loves the kids. I know we haven't heard this name in a while, which is what happens when you base your entire career on a gimmick instead of actual talent. But do you guys remember Bobby D? Nike damn sure does. Last spring, Nike needed someone to model their latest collection of sports bras and leggings. And you would think they would hire a professional model, maybe someone like Heidi Klum, or give someone like Olivia Dunn an opportunity to do it. Hell, even someone like the Lizzo would have been better than who Nike chose. Now, sure, they would have needed additional funding for the forklift, but at least they would have a chance to make some money. Instead, Nike decided to hire Dylan Mulvaney to model women's clothes. I could keep going, but I think you get the point. Some are blaming increased competition for the downfall of Nike, but there's always been competition. In the 1980s, Nike was relatively unknown. Think Converse at the time was the big brand in the NBA. Reebok, Adidas, they were major brands. Nike, they were small, but somehow they managed to break through and find a way to succeed. There has always been competition. There will always be competition. One of the reasons, if not the primary reason, that Nike has went from iconic to huge embarrassing failure, it's because of their embrace of woke politics. We have seen this same ending countless times before. Colin Kaepernick kneels for the national anthem, NFL ratings drop 20%. The NBA fights mythical racism, they've never recovered. Bud Light, Target, North Face, the Olympics, the end result, always the same. Have you noticed? We're not seeing very much wokeness lately. Have you ever wondered why? Maybe a lot of these corporations figured out it's bad for business. But give me your thoughts on this. Nike lays off hundreds of people, with 40% of them in executive positions. A couple of weeks ago, Nike lost $28 billion in value in one day. Give me the reason. How did this iconic brand get to this point? Also, do you think they can recover? Let me know. Sound off in the comments below. Like, subscribe, share the video. Appreciate your support. Best way to contact me is by email at btlkc84@gmail.com, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.